folks, welcome back to another Palm Mass video. So, today we're going to talk a bit about the, the Shauna leak that happened a few days ago. But, well, not specifically the Shauna thing, but since it is confirmed, maybe-ish, that we will be getting Shauna in the game. Again, look, people scared the living hell out of that voice actor, by the way, on Twitter. Everyone's in the reply saying, no, delete this, you will get sued. She will be fine. Not that I know anything, like, legally or guaranteed. But does she probably have any? Probably. Was she probably not supposed to post that? Yeah, probably not. But on the other hand, it's happened so many times. Nothing ever happened to any of those voice actors. She'll be fine. Y'all scared the living bejesus out of her. That poor girl. Oh my god. Anyways, I hope everything goes well with her on her end and the you know, whenever Shauna comes back. And look, it's really not like a huge like deal or confirmation of like anything, because like everyone knows Shauna's gonna be in the game eventually, because you know all the characters are going to be in the game eventually. We just like don't really know when, and it's not like she confirmed Shauna is coming out next month. No, she didn't say that. Doesn't mean Shauna's coming out next month. Could be Shauna coming out next month. Could be Shauna coming out next year. Could be Shauna coming out in 2 years. Like, that's not, none of these are a guaranteed possibility. I mean, look at what's his face, Ryuki, who came out, you know, first made his appearance during the first summer event, I believe, right? Back in summer of 2020, and it's been like 2 years. The guy has like he's gone. He's not resurfaced since, right? So again, none of these are like ever like hard confirmations of the character is literally coming out in like a week or whatever. No, unless they like say it. And look, even like voice actors, it's not like official, right? Like as long as it's not ever, you know, confirmed on the official Poem Master social media or in the news section of the game, or that guy doesn't literally pop out in that screen in the game itself, it's always not 100% confirmation, right? Including whatever, like including even on YouTube or even in my videos, like. Although I do try my best to make the distinction in all my videos to tell you guys this is not 100% confirmed stuff, right? But maybe once or twice I forget, and people think, oh, this no. Nothing is ever confirmed until it's like officially announced by, again, either the game's official social media accounts, the news page, or it comes out in game. All right. So that being said. Is there a possibility she comes out next month? Yes. Not just because of the thing. It makes a bit of sense. It makes a bit of sense when you think about it, right? If you compare to like last year, what happened last year after that, and generally what happens after anniversaries, generally almost every, I wouldn't say like every time, but like most of the time after an anniversary, usually a bit of a down month for Poem Masters in terms of units, right? It's just Halloween, like for like full year anniversary, it's just Halloween plus like generally 2 spotlights. Last year was Halloween plus 2 spotlights. The year before was also Halloween plus 2 spotlights, I believe, right? It was what, Hilbert, Halloween, Hilbert, Acerola, and then I think Bianca and Nate. Was it Bianca, Nate, Bianca, Lycia, or 2 of those 3, something like that. And then last year was like Alistair and Dorok, which were all spotlights. And I'm pretty sure Tierno Trevor / Shauna, if they do come out next month, most likely would be spotlights. They're not that popular to be Pokefairs. I mean, well, anyways, whatever. Let's not get into who deserves to be a Pokefair or not. But most likely I'd say spotlights. Some people say, oh, what if they're for Kalos villain arc? I don't think so. Is it possible for them to give out spotlights during the villain arc for a certain region? It's possible. I mean, we had Courtney in the last one, Looker in the last one. We've had SS Erica before. We had SS Misty. But generally doesn't happen too often. And for like those regions, like especially like Hoenn, right? Hoenn just has like way too many. Like Hoenn already had like 2 Master Fairs before the villain arc, right? well, 3 Master Fairs, actually. They had all 3, so, like, I'm getting, like, more Master Fairs. And one way to make sense of this, they could just throw in spotlights to sort of make that make a bit more sense, right? Or balance the banners out a bit. But, like, Kalos has, like, nothing. So, same thing with, like, what happened with Johto, right? Johto had, like, nothing. And, like, look at what Johto got. 2 Poke Fairs, 3 Master Fairs. So, I feel like if they are going to do a Kalos Villain Arc, most likely, I don't think they're going to have spotlights in here. I think they're trying to introduce these guys to get ahead of the Kalos Villain Arc, so they could have these characters available during the story. Again, they don't have to. I mean, they could just introduce them as NPCs first, right? But I think it is a possibility. They're trying to get ahead of the Kalos Villain Arc, have these guys in there so they could have them already in the game. By the time Kalos Villain Arc comes in, they could be in the story. They could interact, do their story, because they are relatively kind of important-ish characters in the Kalos story, I guess. So I think that's probably what they're doing instead. If it does come out next month, just 3 spotlights that could, you know, potentially be characters that they could use in the villain arc later on when it does come out, right? So yeah. Anyways, yeah, they could potentially just have them out like formats similar to like when they did the triple Alola, or was it quadruple Alola spotlights last year summer, or when they did the triple, you know, Sinnoh Elite Four spotlights this year. So just have them come out relatively closer to each other. All right, so anyways, let's talk about what units they could have. And look, Trevor and Tierno, people hate on them, but I think I think it's I don't know why people hate them that much. They have pretty cool Pokemon for one, right? And let's look at what Pokemon they could potentially have if they do come into the game. So let's first look at Trevor. Trevor has Aerodactyl, Florges, Raichu, and also in the Battle Mason he also has Tyrantrum and Aurorus. This guy runs fossil Pokemon. How cool is that, man? That is very, very cool in my book. First of all, I love fossil Pokemon, but you know, regardless, like Aerodactyl, Tyrantrum, Aurorus, that's a pretty cool dude. All right, let's stop hating on Trevor, please. So, okay, there's a few possibilities here. First of all, Aurorus is taken. By grant doesn't mean that someone has a Pokemon. This Pokemon will never ever be allowed to be used by some other trainer. No, of course. Could he get Aurorus? Yeah, he can. But I would say it's not very likely, just because he has quite a few options here. I'd say very, very unlikely to be Raichu, though. Like, of all these, like, Raichu seems like the most sort of a unit that they really has on the team. Aerodactyl, maybe? But, again, we also do have Aerodactyl the blue. And it just seems like Florges and Tyrantrum are just really, really nice options. Like, it's almost like, why not go with either one of these, right? And if they want to screw us over, if they really, really want to be, like, mean, what they could do is drop Florges and have Florges have Fairy Zone. Not Misty Terrain, Fairy Zone, right? And that would be devastating. Because I'm assuming most people spent a lot of gems during the anniversary, whether it's on the anniversary units or on the Hoenn Villain Arc units or the SC Rosa, SC reruns or whatever. There are a lot of fantastic banners that happened during the anniversary, let's be real, right? And then boom, they dropped like Fairy Zone out of nowhere, like with Florges. So that'd be kind of a. But on the other hand, if they are spotlights, you could do the same as I'm assuming a lot of you guys did with Courtney, which is probably just skip Courtney and wait till Courtney shows up in your future polls, which is fine, right? Which is, on the other hand, maybe not that bad, right? If, again, assuming he has a spotlight. But Florges could be an option. The other one, and I feel like the cooler option would be with Tyrantrum. Because, like, Florges, at least, like, in the future, like, maybe we'd have, like, AZ with, not Florges, but, Floette? What was it called? Yeah, Floette, right? Not that it's Florges, but you know, I feel like that could be a cool option. But Tyrantrum, not a lot of people run Tyrantrum, and it's a cool Pokemon, man. I think someone should have it, right? But Tyrantrum, could it be a Rock Zone setter? Yeah, which would also be equally as disastrous / not as much if it is a spotlight, right? If it is like Fairy Zone Florges. But chance of like him getting like a zone unit is not zero. I wouldn't say it's very high either, right? But it's not zero. If they do like Florges and like just give it like Misty Terrain or something, that's not that big of a deal, because Misty Terrain is like, unless they like completely change like what Misty Terrain does, or like give them like a passive where like it's a passive like, okay, Misty Terrain, and then there's a passive where it says all teammates when Misty Terrain is up, their fairy moves get boosted by like 50%. Okay, then sure, we don't need Fairy Zone anymore, then Misty Terrain would suffice. But do keep in mind, Misty Terrain doesn't actually boost anything innately, so if they do want it to do something, I guess they'll just have to like add an extra passive or some sort of function to Misty Terrain, which I really don't see them doing, because then they'll have to do it to like every single unit. It's just much simpler, and it just makes more sense for them to add Fairy Zone instead of Misty Terrain, right? So we'll see. But yeah, either Rock Zone, Fairy Zone will be really, really nice for the unit. Not so nice for wallets, but again, if they're Spotlight, I guess they're not that big of a deal. But anyways, that's Trevor. Let's check out what Tierno has over here. Tierno does Corefish is one. What else do we have over here? Talonflame, Crawdon, Roserade, Hawlucha. Come on, man. These two people, like, however much you hate them, they got cool freaking Pokemon, right? Like Crawdon. How many people run Crawdon? That's such a cool Pokemon. Underrated Pokemon that people don't run that much. Hawlucha, Talonflame, alright? Roser. Like, they run cool Pokemon, right? If anything. They might be a bit boring as characters, but they have cool freaking Pokemon. But yeah, let's first take out Roserade. Is it mostly because someone already has it? Yeah. Doesn't mean he can't get it. No. But Roserade chances I don't think is very, very likely. I don't feel like the chance of Crawdon is super likely either. It's not a Gen 6 Pokemon. Not that he has to have a Gen 6 Pokemon, but Gen 6 Pokemon would make a bit more sense over here, right? As cool as Crawdon is. But to Hawlucha, Talonflame, those two would be really, 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 really nice, right? Those two would be really cool. I feel like Hawlucha could be a real possibility if they do want to add in like a, right after they dropped Fighting Zone on us, they gave, an extra fighting type damage healer to, sort of help be utilized. Just an extra fighting type DPS to be used in Fighting Zone, right? So Hawlucha there would be really, really cool in that sense. On the other hand, we have like 2, 3 Spotlight fighting type units or damage healers already in the pool, so it's also a bit of a oversaturation of that specific, I guess, archetype. On the other hand, it could also be flying, although it wouldn't be as interesting, I feel, if it was flying. Actually, I don't know. It depends. I mean, both of these are part flying, right? Talonflame, you'd have to think it would be fire type, right? I mean, flying type Talonflame, it's possible, but just doesn't seem as exciting as fire type Talonflame. So we can see it could be like a fire type Talonflame that also has like Brave Bird. Hopefully it's a better Brave Bird, not like Durok's Brave Bird, which like recoils itself to like death. More of a Raihan sort of a unit. I mean, it would make sense, because you could give both Flare Blitz and Brave Bird and give it like just Raihan levels of like recoil reduction, and that would work really, really well, right? So would it be Hawlucha? Would it be Talonflame? I feel like both are pretty decent options. Hawlucha, I don't know. I feel like flying is definitely the weakest type of these three, so I guess flying would be the best if we're looking for which type should we throw in, try to get one more out of. But on the other hand, it would also be the least interesting for these two Pokemon specifically, so I think Fighting/Fire would be cooler. But again, they could always like have like a secondary flying type move if they are damage healers in the first place. So yeah, I feel like most likely Trevor would be more of either support, tech. I guess Tyrantrum. It's hard to not make Tyrantrum a striker. It's a freaking rock, boulder T-Rex, all right. And on the other hand, Tierno may be more of a striker, tech striker, damage healer at least, right? Sort of a vibe to it. So anyways, we'll see. Anyways, that's really this one, I guess. Hope you enjoyed. Guys, think in the comments down below. like, enjoy the video, subscribe to the channel, so more upload content. Let's definitely see you guys in the next one.